Habari zenu. Welcome to Africomm Development Center. Wenye tuko nao hapa kwa audience na wenye wako Facebook streaming live. Welcome very much to Hatua Now Station 6. Hatua Now is a civic education platform. Yenye our aim ni to make sure that tume engage citizens, tume unpack the constitution and actually tume learn what is civic education and to urge the youths to take rights and the responsibilities seriously. Mimi naitwa Valentine Wamboi Moneki. I will be your host. Tuko Africomm Development Center. Africomm ni community-based organization. Tuko opposite Chuka Boys, Abednego House, first floor, room number 2. Niko na my very able panel, very tight one panel this time round. Wasomi na wasomaji. Niko na wakili na niko na aspirants. Actually, hawa wote wanasimama kwa MCA. Ino sasa tunasema from protest to power. That will be our theme today, from protest to power. Ndio maana tuko hapa na watu ambao wana step into leadership, sio kuongea tu, si ndio? So nitata wajiintroduce and wakili.
Kitu ya kwanza ni kusema Ramadhan Karim to all my Muslim brothers and sisters out there. Alafu kama umesikia naitwa wakili Karani to be specific. Tuko hapa kujaribu kueneza the good word of the constitution, of law, of politics, power and democracy. Yeah, hii tunayubiri kama religion juu bado ni that important, yeah. So I hope tutakuwa na a productive session na tutalan na bado mnaweza uliza maswali mwenye mko nazo pia. Yeah.
Shukran sana. Mimi Kimodho. Mimi Sifuna wa Karingani. So I'm Kimodho Mbae, a student at Chuka University, a youth leader, award-winning youth leader in the Poker Awards 2022 and 2025. I'm also a governance champion and umesikia ni wasomi na wasomaji. Mimi ndiye msomaji. Every day is a learning process and we are here to learn. I'm also here to learn from you, from our viewers and from the panel. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for nikawaita na mkaitika kukuja. Asanteni sana. So before tuanze, I have a question to everyone. Nani ashaenda maandamano hapa? So like, kwa nini hamjaenda maandamano mko hadi na locks? I used to think watu wa locks ndio wanaenda maandamano. So it's in our constitution, like article 37 tunakuanga tumepewa hiyo right to assemble, demonstrate and petition. Si ndio? From generation za kitambo, from Sabasaba to Gen Z protest, maandamano imekuaga. Si ndio? It is maandamano yenye tutoa post colonialism. Yenye tutoa colonialism yani. Si Maumau waliandamana ndo tukapata democracy and all that. So I believe that maandamano ama protesting is one way that citizens wanaweza peleka their issues to the governing. Sindio? Yeah, so demonstrations are they're very nice actually. They're very good and I think they work. And our first question ya team, tumesema sote tumekuwa maandamano, sindio? So youth have been at the center of the civic protest in Kenya. What do you think is actually driving this new wave of youth activism?
Thank you for the question. I tend to believe that the Gen Z protests were not impulsive. Haikuwa kitu spontaneous. They were driven by a long-term economic challenges, structural challenges they were facing in the 2024. My Gen Z protest and the other protests have been a result of economic challenges the youths have been facing, distrust in the political systems, whereby you find that the things we hope the political class should be playing, they decline that work. They are not doing it efficiently. So it is it became ikakuwa ni party awareness ya Gen Z. They got the political awakeness and they had to take that responsibility by themselves. Hence they had to go to streets to fight for themselves when others kept quiet. Yeah.
Okay, do you have a different answer?
It's not particularly different per se. It's just to support that the reason that the Maandamano took place the time that it did, it was driven by various factors. Like my colleague has said, amesema moja ni due to political inefficiencies yenye ina lead youths to kuwa frustrated, which may cause them which causes us and which caused us to express our frustrations as envisioned by Article 37 of the Constitution. Now, the most important thing that in my view I can say led to the 2020 that has led to this political awakening, it's because of the current levels of education. The most important thing in a democracy is that it must have an educated population to be able to discern from right and wrong, and to be able to read manifestos, and later to be able to ask questions based on the manifestos they were given. So in my view, education, and we have one person to thank for that, it's the late Honorable His Excellency Mwai Kibaki, who ensured that free education was enacted, and this led to an increase of the literacy levels, and that's why we had seen that mnajua sisi ndo tumefunza na Kibaki, like we are the beneficiaries of free education up to campus, like most of us, and this is why you are able to see and are able to do maths like wezidanganywa, because you know, like you are fellow accountants, you are lawyers, you are doctors, so there's no way jumto amechaguliwa hapo anapatiwa god complex. No, sisi we have come to have that awakening. na bado things like technology, we've seen how other nations are being ruled. We've seen power working for the people. We've seen democracy actually working, na tunaanza kujiuliza like why not us, like na hiyo ni kitu yenye imekuwa enabled by education na exposure, and just by the mere thing ya kupatana hapa hivi campus ina break a lot of the stereotypes zenye zilikuwa zimesetiwa na akina Kenyatta, akina Moi in aims of ruling over us. Hiyo ati ya kuseparatiwa central and stuff. Now, how universities bring people together, you are able to see kumbe tunapitia the same stuff zenye tunapitia central, ndo the same zenye pia mtu wa western, hakuna difference. Like tuliondoka kwa talk and we actually came to saw the real world, and that's why we demanded for what is owed to us by the political class. So education is the most important thing. Kavile bado alisema kwa Bible, my people perish due to lack of knowledge. That's why most of the African nations are perishing due to the lack of the important knowledge. Like tumejaza tu na knowledge that is not actually important to the development of our actual society. Okay. It's a long story.
Yeah, that's
tutaongelelea huko.
That's easy digest. Before we say the next question,
can I compliment that answer?
Yeah, I mean 1 minute.
Okay. On the same note, education, I tend to take the fact that a lot of people, a lot of the Gen Zs who were out there on streets, most of them ni the educated class but wako jobless. So ile mtu amesoma alafu ana kazi inampatia ile civic, amepata ile civic education, hence anapata ile motisha kwenda kudemand what is rightfully theirs. Alafu tena on part ya social media imehelp sana kutoa wale gatekeepers wenye walikuwa kwa power. Hence unapata kama ni hii Africomm yetu tuko nao hapa hivi this week education, unapata kama ingekuwa kitambo kidogo tungeenda tena kutafuta citizen mainstream media and stuff, but sahi due to the digital space unapata the mobilization, political awakening ina happen tu virahisi sana. Ukiingia TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere is a political awakening ya vijana, political mobilizations, and that is the way to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Before we do the next question, because it's actually based on the last protest we had as a country, any opinion ya panel, it's not about Africomm. Their opinion yao, sio maoni ya Africomm. Sawa sawa? Yes. Thank you. So, tuliona 2024 tuliandamana. Like ni towns mingi Kenya ziliandamana, si ndio? And people died. Siwezi kusema hivyo, watu walikufa. But at the same time, tulikuwa tunaandamana because reject finance bill. But later on tukaona that finance bill ilipitishwa. So, there's actually protesting influence policies ama inakuanga tu symbolic. Kimotho.
Thank you. Protests, they influence how things are done because the influence ya protest inakuja in 3 terms. Kuna short term, medium term na long term. The short term inasaidia kuleta the no, like people got the awakening. People got the awakening that kuna hii finance bill yenye ina happen, kuna hii taxes inakuja kupandishwa, kuna like there are some things going on. People get that media knowledge. Then short term, kuna it helps to change political narratives, like how people used to do politics. Kama sasa tumetoka kwa personal based politics tumeenda kwa issue based. Ukiangalia what the current political landscape yenye iko Kenya, atuongelei tena ati Raila amefanya, Ruto amefanya, nini amefanya. Sasa tunaongelea about marginalization in northeastern counties. Tunaongelea about development. Atuongelea about tribes, atuongelea about personalities. And then the long term benefit ya protest inatusaidia tunapata some new leaders. Kama sasa tuko na watu kama Babu Owino, tuko na Sifuna. We face out the old leaders, not necessarily old, but the political class yenye iko the old, hiyo old tuna face out au wote, and that is a plus from the protest.
I agree that protest actually do change things, but most of the times reality comes out to be that nothing actually changes. In my view, I'd like to say that what made the 2024 protest look so inconsequential, it's because I'm of the view that Aspire is as only as lethal as how sharp it is. So as much as we had the will, the power, and the strength to actually put forth something, we lacked a particular structure, and that's why you saw anytime a potential leader would try to come up during that period of pre and post June 2025, there would always be either bloggers, paid bloggers, ama analipwa, because they know one thing: if you want to hurt a flock, kill the shepherd, then the flock will scatter. And that's why you see that hatukoipata something, and the difference between us and the second liberation led by akina Matiba, akina Olengo, akina Raila, they had somebody to actually call to actually call people to power and to protest and to actually push anyhow hiyo ni athari ya lugha ya mama, and to actually push for something. And that's why you see somebody like Morara Kebaso, and as she said, these are not the opinions of Africomm, these are my own personal opinions.
Okay.
He had a chance because a heavy structure, we won't know when to come out. We won't have a person who is actually leading us to our goal. Hatuwezi songa hivi hivi sisi wote. And there's a Kikuyu proverb that says itaritari duduri hurago na jogomemwe. Inasema a war without a consensus ama without an agreement inapigwa tu na rungu moja, and we scattered.
Okay,
we scattered for real.
Let me ask, so the fact that we are leaderless, unajua hiyo ndio ilikuwa inaonekana ni kama sisi tuko leaderless, hakuna mtu atakuwa targeted na the government. So the fact that we are leaderless and we don't have structure and we are not organized, does it mean that ndio maana protest zetu zazi yield to anything?
Like it's not the only problem, but it's an actual contributor to that particular problem. Like the way these mandamanos were initiated, they happened the best way possible. They were organic and they were people led. But now to some point when we actually reach certain junctures, and that's why we are trying to get into power, so that until you have somebody, atuzitoshea to 27 million youths to ask for something, ama hatutaweza ku bring our minds together. 27 million of us watalipa tu watu kadhaa, alafu bloggers shall talk their talk, they shall divert the movement without one actual person. Lakini sahi the way Sifuna is going, he actually has a golden opportunity to fit into the shoes of Baba. If now, for example, Sifuna was to take up that actual perpetual role of calling, not leading us but pushing for what we want, he's not more equal than us, but he has the ability, he has the charisma, like the way Baba had. Like we need, my point is, like, until we have one actual spear, one rifle, I don't think we'll ever make a kill.
Kimotho was burning to speak.
First, I want to I will not say we were rejecting finance bill, but I will not say I will reject your opinion.
Wait a minute. Ulikuwa maandamano?
Yes.
Okay.
One thing I will tell you, just because we said we are leaderless doesn't mean we are disorganized. One, the reason why we were leaderless is because we didn't want opportunists to take the credit, because we saw there are some people who popped up. We saw Casmuel, we saw Hanifa, we saw Kebaso. Those people are not our leaders. Those are our opportunists trying to take over the fight, the blood and credit for the blood of others. One, yes, let's somebody like Casmuel. Casmuel was there. Today, what is it? Is what Casmuel anafanya leo? Is it what the Gen Zs went up to the street for?
Na niulize aje kwanza, first ngoja kwanza, since si ODM wako na nini, wako na youth, si ndio? Wako na youth wao kina Casmuel. What are they doing at this moment? The fact that Sifuna alitolewa kwa party by force.
Yeah, those are now the questions, and that's why we are saying we are not leaderless. 2027 gives us the golden opportunity to vote for our leaders who will be accountable direct to us, not some opportunists taking over the sort of others.
Then why did people have to die then? If you were to wait for 2027, why did Lex Masai die that time? Our point was, and our point is still is. And if you remember, it was Ruto must go. And that was our main agenda. Now, no, finance bill was just alihepa tu akapigwa shoulder, like instead of the head, and that's why like he won the war. Yes, we won the battle of finance bill, but Ruto actually won the war, because what actually happened? Nothing actually. Akareshuffle cabinet, a full like courier, akafanywa
his opinion.
Yeah, my own personal opinion. Akafanywa advisors, the same pay group as a minister. So nothing actually like if you come to look at the bottom line, nothing, like people died for nothing.
And finance bill bado ilipitishwa.
Na finance bill bado ilipitishwa, but if we had a person that mwenye angekuwa nakaa rada like kavile Rao was, kavile like Rao, unaona kaa si Raila, na kama si Kimathi, na kama si Matiba, na kama si Nkrumah, na kama si Patrice Lumumba, nothing, they could not have pushed for anything. Like and this way, like, give me some time to explain my query with Morara Kebaso was, okay, like he had actually achieved something that something very special. Juu him, like watu walikuwa shanza hadi kumcontributia, like he was actually coming to groom and to bloom to be something that could have actually helped us, na maybe sahi Ruto angekuwa shaenda, because tuko na power, and they know that the moment we organize, the moment we have something to look up to, the moment we have somebody like how Raila was a very deadly weapon, very very lethal. The moment we had our own Raila, and that's why you saw kama Morara alitumiwa two bloggers, the nigga anasema ati mnasema, and yet at that particular time anachangiwa. He chickened out, aliogopa kufungwa, na hii struggle haikujangi. Si ashikwe tu. What happened to Raila? What happened to Mandela? Uwezi kaa hapo kuja tukuvutia 2027 and yet unaogopa the struggle. What has happened to Matiba alidungwa mercury like to the head and he still fought. Raila alifungwa arbitrarily 6 years Nyayo House na bado akatoka and fought. So wewe like he was just a make believe. He was just a scarecrow there to do nothing, and like we lacked a leader. My point is, my very strong point is like we need a spearhead. If we need to make a kill, if we need to kill this giant of corruption, we need an actual spearhead. So
in short, kuna audience alikuwa na swali. You still have yeah.
So the leader on record saying, you know, like nothing will change. Si umeisema enough times for us to register, like hakutakuwa na change.
Forget if, don't just take the
well,
we need an if.
Sasa situational awareness, it's like tuna exist in a representative democracy must only mean we elect our leaders, and then the leaders come up with policies, and then these policies roll back to us, you know, in the form of projects and stuff. So if we have our centers of power compromised, I'm talking about the parliament, the judiciary, you know, if we have our centers of powers compromised and we rely on these representatives to, you know, like table our issues and stuff. So what is the assurance that we will have a different scenario, assuming we even elect youthful leaders this 2027? What is the guarantee that the newly elected leaders, you know, will follow through on our mandate as our representatives? Because the centers of power have been compromised. You all saw it. The finance bill was fought, but it still passed. Yeah. So must mean the common mwananchi doesn't have a voice, ama the voice of the mwananchi isn't strong enough like that. So what is the guarantee? That is the question. What is the guarantee that these newly elected leaders, you know, like will represent our mandate? Yeah.
Yeah. To answer that, the former British, what was he? Prime Minister Churchill said that politicians only do bad things for two. Like politicians do and say foolish things for only two reasons. One, it's because they know that the people they are talking to are foolish enough, they won't understand the foolishness of what they are actually saying. And the other thing, they say foolish things because they are actually foolish, which is the current situation now that we are experiencing. How we see that the converse of power have been hijacked. It is an old system. Like those people were already there. So even if you have one Sifuna, one Baba, one Wamushomba, they are actually nothing in an whole ocean of rotten of a whole, like it's a whole rotten bunch. So that is for now. And this power they were given by us, unfortunately, when we never had this level of literacy or this level of awakening we have. Another thing is that a government is only as incompetent to the level that the people allow them to be incompetent. Uko British, uko US, uko Europe, like theater, they are led by saints. Prime ministers get sacked, they get jailed. Like you saw in Korea, the former president was given life imprisonment. Yeah, like they act because the people actually ask for them. Like, come na tuua, let us see you kill 27 million of us, but we have to, you know it's a war, and they never sit down and say, enyewe tumeshiba sawa, se tuanze sasa kujengea raia. Haitawahi happen na haitawahi kuja rahisi. So we have to actually, na 2027 tukisha vote, kazi yetu haiishi hapo. I bet there was a question on whether our role is only to vote. Haiishi hapo. We have to now to go to the other side of being checks and balances, and saying that lawmakers are the only people with that they make policies. We also have an active role in policy making, that is through public participation. We have an active role to actually make these policies. That's the good part of our democracy. Only if the population is educated enough to be able to push democracy forward. How? By the way it was envisioned by the fathers of democracy. Yeah, I don't know if I've answered there. Okay. Yeah.
Tumekuja tukaona ati maandamano yes ama protest ziko na impact yake. At the same time people die, sindio? Na haijaanza sai, imeanza post-colonial time. People die because of protesting, and at the same time with the leadership that we have, they lazima to protest because they do not think about us. Really do they? When Ruto alipitisha ile bill fulani when Baba died, bill ya yes, and kuna ingine pia ya huwezi post kitu social media, huwezi post kitu sahi na wakose kuona wakiona tuseme ni post sahi Ruto must go, they can come for me, ama wanaweza zima hiyo. So how can youth engage in protest, and how can they protect themselves effectively making sure ati the reason wana protest bado hizo protest ziko effective?
One, I believe youths before ufanye kitu, first know the law. Usiende tu kupayuka online, unaona? Know the law, know what is guiding these vitu una post, let them be nini, and then let them be factual, lawful, zikuwe correct na sheria, and then tukue na ile the civil societies, let them come in place vizuri to protect the rights. Kuna Kenya National Human Rights Commission, kuna Amnesty International, I think Africomm falls under that category. Yeah. I tend to believe these are the now, because ukiingia kama ni parliament, the bill was passed by the affordable members of parliament, because ukiangalia hata tukisema the reason why hiyo finance bill na vitu zingine tunasema azikuenda through ni because wale members wako pale ni affordable. Wale wase the largest percent over 108 hata si over 200 MPs wote washakuwa affordable. The people understand na wananchi ni kidogo. So the civil societies, the literates, our lawyers, our wamesoma, the educated citizenry ni wao wanafaa ku come in place to guard our watu. That might take.
wakili hakubaliani na hayo maneno. Amekataa.
Another personal opinion of mine is that I strongly disagree. Like, do you think is the law here to serve us, or are we here to serve the law? The law is here to serve us, and anytime the law does not seem to serve the people, then it is changed. Like that is a philosophy of law. Like, it seems that like we do not have to actually follow something that actually undermines us, and that is supported by Article 2 of our great Constitution, that power is sovereign and is inherent. Our power is not given by anybody. Power is inherent to you as a Kenyan. Like, we are the ones that diffuse now power to power, because hatukuzaliwa tulipe mtu tax. If you believe that, then you believe you are born to be a slave, which is not the case. It's something of an aspect called a social contract. So whatever you do, it should be to the betterment and to the development of the society. So bringing a rogue statute saying that you will now what will be the criteria of saying that this post like this particular social media post shall have detrimental effect? How like sasa mbona unaitoa? Like, where does that leave free speech? Because anything like my question is, like, nani ndo benchmark? Like, who decides what is good and what is wrong? Because if you are the one like kama ile ya Kiswahili inakuanga aje, sijui kifaranga kwa kesi ya kuku or something. Yeah, like you can't be the judge and the jury and the executioner. You can't ilikumaanisha uta allow anything that goes against you to stand, and that is not a good law. And that's why the law is changeable, and that's why the Constitution envisioned things like referendum, things like recall. That's why those things were envisioned in the Constitution. Like, my point is that we don't have to take shit from anybody. Like, it's our country. Like, the country should run how we want it. We should not run how the country wants. Our country should run how we want it, because we were born with power. We were not born and then given certain power to post. No, we had the power to post. Like, so like, in my view, that was a very bad law. And that was a law that was meant to quash the voices. Because if anything, because sasa kama ukisema Ruto must go, if somebody takes it as at face value, you shall be sued for treason. Like, that is a treasonable offense. Yeah, like ukiposti kwa hapa Tanzania, hapa Uganda, my guy, unanyongwa tu. No, that is where they want to take us. That ukisema Ruto must go, ukisema ni muongo, like, no, they want you to have proof kusema ati iliibiwa. Utawai jua aje 11 billion ili withdrawiwa aje? Unaona tu kuna deficit, but you can't post about it because you can't actually prove how the deficit actually came to be. No, that is making you not shed light to things, because the role of the media and social media as a new form of media, it's to bring light, so that the necessary organization that, like you said, like the NGOs, the Law Society of Kenya, human rights, so that mimi wacha tu niseme vaguely, mimi niliona boys pale miwa na polisi, like, I don't mind how, so that I power, so that human rights can take that up and actually do the actual investigation. But tukisema usipost until upate evidence, wale itawai wafikia aje? Wale wenye wanaweza pata hiyo evidence watawai fikiwa aje? So that's why that is a very bad law, and it was implemented in the worst faith possible. It was not in the betterment of us, of anybody. Like, ni wajitajirishe tu. Haikuwa, yeah, that's my personal opinion, not the opinion of Africomm.
So the law was passed just last year, right? Mm-hmm. And it was passed by the same members of parliament. How between now and 2027, where we are correcting the mess in 2027, how do you operate between that, with that law in place, and the same parliamentarians who passed it are the same people in power? How do you correct that?
Now, because of what the law was actually trying to fight, because of posting of things that people didn't actually have facts to, because of people that are not lawyers posting about a certain provision of law that claims to fine you 20 million and jail you for 10 years for social media post, because of those related people posting, that's why now currently the bill has been suspended. Like there is still a case arguing on the on the constitutionality of that bill, because the constitution guarantees, and the constitution is a parent law, is a principal norm of the laws of Kenya. So any other law, as long as it does not align with the constitution, it's invalid to the extent of its repugnancy. So this particular law that tends to limit the people's freedom of speech, the people's freedom of opinion, that is a bad law in my view, and that is a law that courts should declare unconstitutional, null and void.
I agree actually with your opinion, because digital activism is rising. Digital activism ndio ilifanya the protests za 2024 zikakuwa very organic and very massive, sindio? So that was a law against us as youth actually. Tulisema voting is not enough as youth participation kikuja ni haya mambo ya governance, sindio? So what other civic tools beyond voting that tunaweza tumia kama young people? Tuanze na Kimodho kaza umeze mate.
Well, there's a civic education whereby we go in roots to educate the members of the society, of our communities. We go to the last person who know in that community, educate them about their right, educate them about the political awakening. Also, the media, the social media as the digital space, we use it maximally. And then there is also keeping our leaders on toes, because we see to some extent they are not representing us, they are representing themselves. So we must call them to order, we must call them to their place of work, kwa sababu unapata ulichagua MP, MP umemwambia siende a vote hiyo finance bill, si ndio? Anaenda ana vote tena, kikuja huku shago wewe ndiye youth wa kwanza mwenye unapatiwa do ugawie wasee wanyamazio story, na hapo sasa ndipo unapata tunakuja tuna mess up everything. Na alafu vitu zingine ni kama hizi LSK hizo those, na hata church, even the church, the religion part of it, inafaa ku play their part to the maximum. Wasikuwe ni wale wasa kwenda State House wanapewa ile bob yao wanarudi wananyamazia issues za watu. During the fight for multi-party democracy, we had people like Bishop, was it Bishop or Reverend Kitonga? Those are the people who fought for, who stepped up to fight for the people. So at Asahi, let's have religious leaders who are standing up for the people. Yes.
So you are saying us as youth, it's our responsibility to educate each other.
Yes.
Tuende huko mashinani tuambie watu kujeni leo yeah, actually it's like hizo tunafanya ni civic education. It is peer to peer. Hapa kuna mtu mwenye ako 40 years old, we are all youths, ndio? So this is peer to peer civic education. So actually this is one thing that youths should be doing. Sio tu hapa peke yake. Na tukienda huko mahali tuko nyumbani, Kenya tumelearn hapa tunaongea nao wengine, ndio? And nimekuwa nikipata kulitoka IBC walitoa results like in Tharaka Nithi County. This is for Tharaka Nithi County. Walitoa vile registration iko, and the voter turnout is very very low. Nilikuwa na hiyo conversation na Kimodho asubuhi, akaniambia ukienda huko IBC hawakutreat vizuri. Tell us what you were telling me, Kimodho.
Well, it seems like a deliberate pattern to frustrate the youth from taking votes. Unajua the youths ndio sahi hawajachukua kura wengi. So unaenda IBC leo wako, kesho sijui wameenda lunch, sijui unapata mtu like there is a deliberate pattern unaenda unaona this is to frustrate youth from registering as voters, and it is from a specific point, specific regions whereby it seems as if kuna reluctancy in supporting the government. Ndio unapata place kama western, sio western, northeastern, Mandera, Garissa, nini, watu wanafanywa registrations in thousands kuja Mount Kenya, Kirinyaga, Nyeri, Murang'a, Kiambu, enda to Ukambani, unapata registration iko very low. So unapata like it seems a scheme to frustrate the youth, and that is why I call IBC to play their part efficiently. Waenda wape watu kura, waingie mtaa, waanze massive. Sasa unajua tena kuna hii factor ya youth ana job, ile job kiasi amepata ni ile ya kujisukumilia, then mmeenda mmeficha, sijui mna registria kura huko, sijui TNT huko, and then the grassroots. The IBC should go, waende huko chini Kangoto, waende chini huko Igamba Ng'ombe, like msewa Igamba Ng'ombe ako mjengo, umwambie ache mjengo akuja achukue kura. Unaona hapo hivyo una mistreat hata. Yeah.
So this is to the government. County IBC ni ina fall under national government, ndio. The national government inafaa ipe enough funding. Inafaa ipe IBC enough funding.
And I fall like to correct, like IBC ni one of independent.
It's independent
offices.
Wanatoa pesa huko kwa gava.
Kwa nini like in quotes
tukwanza tusisahau ya kwamba ule si alikuwa nani mwenye resign mwenye alikuwa CEO ama alikuwa chairman? CEO. Why would the CEO resign from IBC like right now?
Wanasukuma kazi. Like niliwaambia, mnaona vile tu like cheki, like do you say like why I'm telling you like Ruto won, like aliwin if it what we were actually fighting for. Beku tukataza kupush kufika State House hiyo time ka vile tulifika parliament, ali make sure sasa kona time. What do you think anafanya sahi? Ama unadhani Ruto hana intelligence enough ya kujua actually nobody will vote for him? So like so mkiona IBC haifanyi hivi, mkiona a certain place wanapewa kura more, hizi ni strategy. Na sasa sisi I don't know if I should say this. No,
just say it.
I shouldn't say that. Like my point is, the way we would have removed him in 2024. I'm saying like it's how we will have Ruto atatoka hapo na mass action. Me don't think Ruto like you know these guys have intelligence na najua vile ground inabonga.
Tuongelea IBC at this moment.
IBC like such a funny kueleza sasa vile unajua the back stops. Like the back, like vile tulikuwa tunasema ni independent in court. Like ndo hizi courts. Sasa saka vile like sipia the last elections akiwa vice president si alimanage, if you manage to hear stories, mtu anashikwa sijui hapa anashikwa na makaratasi za kuprint, tena unasikia nani amekuwa wapi, like watu like sasa wanatukulia strategy nyingine wazimu sana ya 2027.
So wacha kwanza niwape data. This is voters registration target ya huku Tharaka Nithi County. Mara wana target 2089 voters. Chuka Ng'ombe wana target 2413 voters, na Tharaka wana target 2111 voters. Lakini registered voters as of now, Mara wako 452. Chuka wako 466. Tharaka wako 1724. At least Tharaka wamejaribu. Na wako huko ndani. So I think we should do something. Tuko na swali hapo kwa audience. Tafadhali.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's high time we are talking about a crucial matter of the IBC. IBC is perceived to be independent, and it has not been independent because of us voters. We vote because we just want to vote. We are not voting because we need to bring change. And this issue with IBC, we need to do thorough civic education concerning IBC, because when a voter does not understand why he or she is going to vote, will vote because amelipwa. That's why we say there is massive corruption in how we are using our democracy. Maybe as youth, what is our role in making IBC independent? That is my question.
So I don't think we have a role in making IBC independent because one, we don't constitute the body. It's supposed to be an independent institute according to the constitution. You see, their mandate is from the constitution as an independent body. So I don't think really a citizen akona a role to play in how they exercise their independence. Not just the IEBC, any other independent body wouldn't claim that citizens play a role in ensuring their independence. They're just supposed to exercise their mandate venye imekuwa stipulated kwa constitution. The thing about it ni ati, like getting ahead of the compromise, because it is perceived as independent when in actual sense it's not. So the issue is about why is there that external influence from these other people? Because, well, we have centers of powers zenye ziko independent, we still have oversight roles. If you are talking about parliament, see, that's where we make our laws. And then we have the Senate, the oversight role. We have the judiciary, handle anything to do now, like interpretation of the law, things of that sort. But unasema, why is it that a citizen has to play a role in ensuring you conduct your activities independently? See, that should be in it. Like as an elected or appointed leader, it should be your responsibility to follow through on your mandate without anyone having to be part of my honest opinion. I don't think citizens play a role, like in ensuring the independence of anybody. I don't think it's proper to say that the citizens should play a role in ensuring bodies are independent. That's not it.
You can take another question.
Yeah, okay. As we are talking about voting, election and stuff, as majority of us know that most of the time when we talk about elections, the people who are marginalized or the poor people are the ones who turn up for the voting. Most the rich guys and the light, they do not come for the voting. So my question is, you find that in those most of the poor people during election or during that campaign and stuff, they don't have food, they don't have work. So when a politicians come and any politician come, they give them 500 or a pack of aunga, they accept and they are willing to vote for that person. So for me, my question is, as youth and also as a nation, what can we do different so that we make sure that even these kina mama mboga, these poor people, they're not convinced with the small things that they feel like to them it's like a gold. What are we supposed to do different to tell them that, we need change, and change it's possible for us to make a difference. So for me, just to ask maybe what can we do different that has not been done before, and is it possible to overcome such challenges?
Thank you for that question. Let me answer this one, then he will answer the other. First, the people who have not been voting for the longest time in Kenya, it is the middle class, because the elites are the ones who plan the politics and they try to control the narratives. And the bottom, the low income citizens are the ones who are most of the time go to vote. And this time, the coming 2027 election, be sure that the middle class will go to vote, because they are the most affected, because ukiangalia they are the middle income, au income yao ndio iko average na ndio wanakuwa taxed sana, because they are wale watu wanaingiza mshahara ni hao watu hapo katikati, kwa sababu the elite, the 1% that controls according to that philosophical nini about economy, the 1% that controls the 99, unapata ni wao wako juu, then kuna the bigger percentage, alafu kuna the low income. So our low income ndio wameishi kwenda kuvote. Sahi, the most affected by the economic policies ya the current government in the middle income. Alafu tena the youths hapa vile tuko, I'm sure the most of this congregation hata wenye wanatuangalia online, they are among the top elite in their backgrounds. Wakati unaenda unapata kwenye ushago wende ule mse amesoma maybe sana, so it is upon you uende ufanyie au wengine civic education, uambie there is life after hii unga. And that is why the good leaders, wale leaders wenye wanastahili wanakuwa voted out na the uneducated. I will not the elite, I will not want to use the word illiterate, but wale wako pale bottom, kwa sababu the middle class na the educated wali ignore their responsibility ya kwenda kufunza wase. Kama sasa uko unajua 2027 kuna ule leader anafaa, kuna ule leader akona vision yao hiyo area yenu, wewe ukose kwenda kueducate wase, wapatie point ya mbona huyu leader ndiye the best, alafu leader mwingine atoke na handouts ahonge hao wase. Unaona hapo ndipo tena wewe utarudi kuumia for another 5 years. Alafu kitu kingine nasema, nimesikia wase wakisema sijui hata tusipochagua Ruto atatafuta njia ya kujiingiza. Mimi nataka hiyo conversation ni conversation moja inafaa kuisha. Wewe pigia mse unajua anafaa kuleta development. Acha na mambo ya Ruto. Wewe usipompigia nani atampigia? Wewe usipompigia nisipompigie. Si tukifika pale 2027 tupate kona kura, nafaa tuambie alitoa wapi. Ama aje?
Kweli.
Atuambie alitoa wapi, na that is where mass action comes. Lakini for now usituambie ati wewe nitapigia Ruto ati juu usipompigia atapigiwa. Hiyo ni shika.
Kulikuwa na swali like our role in ensuring that IEBC is eco independent. Like, you know, like we have a role, like every day you wake up, you have an active role that of ensuring that the constitution is enacted to the letter and to the spirit of the constitution. Like we have, even though the constitution have hata kama imepeana checks and balances, hata kama provide for judiciary to check the other arms, may provide for parliament to form laws, inakuwa checked na president akizia send to power. Lakini at the end of the day, those three bodies can always connive to kutuumiza, na hiyo ndo the case, na hiyo ndo kesi yenye hiyo ndo kesi yenye iko sahi, na hiyo ndo kesi yenye tuliona. Mimi kama mnaamini, mkiona baba ya mtu jana ulikuwa una vote for a bill, kesho inakataliwa, uko hapo nyumba ina clap after amesema hata isign, you are clapping. The same father of 3 ama 2 walikuwa hapo akiclap. Like those are the people mnangoja wa ensure that IEBC iko independent. My friend, like utangoja toto wako they ngoja juu kama since independence hawajai kuwa able to ensure. Now how do we actually do that? We actually do that by asking these questions, by vile simsimana tuko na njia tuna agitate kwa social media, because we have a role of oversight, and this is the spirit of Article 37, by giving the people the right to unarmed demonstration, picketing. Adi akikuja kusema ati wana pass law yenye inasema ati lazima uinform ati areas yesu naandamana. Why? Sasa uelafu kisha muinform akatae. Does it mean Article 37 then goes to waste? Anywho, my point is, like the way we agitated for the finance bill, haitawahi simama. Tunafaa tuko tunafanya hivyo every day. The moment like wana bear metebea, when you see a rat, call it a rat. Like you always have, if you note that the IEBC has shown some form of of dependency ama imeonyesha some form of ina connive na the executive, then it's upon you to call it out. Mnaicall out kwa internet, wakikataa kusikia mnatokea until you are heard. That is for now. But no, come 2027, so bado you can only do a lot. You can only vote with tell the future. No, come 2027, usiangalie tu Ruto peke yake. Like actual power iko kwa parliament. If you are able to kuvutia members of parliament wenye ni wazuri, they can even impeach Ruto if he managed to maneuver his way back to power. Like we need to get hold of the comforts of actual power. We need to make sure now that we vote for people who we can be accountable for. That's how I see. So that when we call it out, we have people who listens. Unless you vote for people who for a person that listens, then nobody will ever listen to you. Alafu bado unaona kama story ya uki-elect by my friend Submarine akisema ati those people that actually have power are the ones that should ensure that power works as it should. That is insinuating ukishakuwa elected una gain some certain level of automatic intelligence, know that you know. The problem with us is that we ngoja kiasi. Like let me land. Sasa
tunafaa kwenda break, so
yeah. Sasa our point is like lazima ifike hivi.
Sawa, ifike basi.
Like my point is tuki-elect fools hawatakuwa honorable juu just for the mere fact watakuwa elected. Like watakuwa tu elected fools, so hawatafanya anything. So it's upon us for now. Let's just agitate how we know best. Let's internet tukiitwa tutoke juu. That is the only, like already hatuna power, like hatuna power. Like nasema ngoja like let me land like nasema for now like for now we only have us na sisi ni Sifuna. Like now we can only agitate through these ways, through social media, through the streets, so that come 2027, because don't remember 2024, this is what we wanted. We wanted to chase away the whole system, so that now we can elect people that we actually ukieko hapo. You have seen what have happened. Mwanzako amenyolewa, ingia hapo, then we expect streamlined. That is what we could have achieved. Na kutaka tu like we want come 2027 then because tulishindwa hiyo time, like we lost then, tusiachilie hii ingine.
I think anajaribu kusema kama mtu alivote for finance bill, kama MP wako alivotea finance bill, make sure hujamvotea.
Si hiyo tu, cheki tusiangalie at face value of finance bill pekee. Like these people, like unafaa tu angalie the whole person as an entity. Like juju wanachejingi story every day. Maybe like today unaona leo if Regiji met with Ruto na wasikizane vile Regiji atarudi kuwa deputy president, they work that thing out. Trust you me, kesho yake Regiji ataanza kusema 2 term.
So basi before tufike hapo kwa kusema 2 term, 1 term, tunaenda break.
Siku zombo.
Boska.